Hi everyone, this is Rosa Kelly and I am here today with a brand new tutorial for JS Hobbies and Crafts. This album is going to be so much fun. So I wanted the theme of the album to be pockets. I am going to concentrate and make different types of pockets for each one of the page, so you guys can pick and choose and incorporate to even older projects. It's just gonna be really fun to do. I did do a planning process video and I kind of sketched the pockets ideas that I had to put into this album. So I'm gonna leave that link down below if you guys want to check out my thinking process, and also I'm going to leave the link to JS Hobbies and Crafts on the description box below, and I have a separate video where I show you all the materials that we're gonna be using to make this album. So we're just gonna save a little time and I'm gonna link you to that video, and let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna start by cutting the chipboard. I am really liking the larger size albums right now, so I'm gonna make this one into a 9x7. So I am going to cut 2 pieces of chipboard at 9x7, and then I'm going to cut one at 9x3 for the spine. So I have my chipboard cut out, and now I'm going to use 3 sheets of cardstock. Now this is regular cardstock, 65 pound, and I like using the lighter weight cardstock for my binding because your cardstock is just more flexible to bending, and it won't be cracking as the 110 pound cardstock. So we're gonna join these 3 pieces together and we're gonna do the wrapping of the album. And I know you guys have seen me do this many times for every album. The process really is the same. I just think it's nice to do it, so I don't have to link you to another video. You have everything here, and if you are a beginner, this is actually gonna be a really good tutorial for you to get started on making mini albums. This album is going to be quite simple, I think, and really easy to understand. So I encourage you to try, and don't be afraid of making mistakes. We all make mistakes. We all start somewhere. So I'm going to be using some double-sided tape. Now this one's a wider tape, and I really like how thick it is. I think it's a 1-inch tape. I got this one at the Scrapbook Expo, so I don't have any link to give you, but if you're using the 3/8 of an inch, you just do a couple more lines, which is okay. So which is what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna add this one on the center. So once we add the tape, you always want to make sure to take all the air bubbles out of your tape, and that just makes everything more secure, and make sure it really grabs that cardstock. So that's what we're gonna do. Alright, so now I'm going to start with the spine. I'm just going to take out my tape just like this, and I'm gonna place it right on the center. So let's place it right on this middle page here. Make sure when you're adding your chipboard that you're not placing it too close to your bending, where we join the cardstock, because you don't want the bend to be here. So if we have the bend on the side, it's a lot better for your albums. So now I'm gonna take out the tape on the larger pieces, and we're just gonna place it next to the spine. And when we place these, we're gonna make sure we have a little spacing in between these two. Now, because I've done this so many times, I can already know how much my distance is, but if you rather be sure, grab a piece of chipboard and just put it in between there. Okay, and it's actually better if you do 2 pieces of chipboard together. That will be better. So I do better without that. Okay, so now we're gonna do the same on the other side. So we're gonna place this one here. Now you can also use your chipboard here to kind of make sure you have everything even, and just do it like this. Okay, and now I'm just gonna press this down. And like I said, we're now going to trim out the extras on the sides. So you want probably just about an inch on each one of the sides. So, and it doesn't have to be even like mine. You don't have to make it even because these parts will be covered. Okay, so now we got that. And then I like to fold the sides of the paper. So you're just gonna massage your cardstock until you get your shape, and slowly bend it all the way. And then I'm going to use this little tool to make sure it is nice and flat. Now this tool and this tool are the same thing, really. They're just different brands, so you can do it either way. And I'm going to continue folding all the sides. So now I'm going to trim the corners like so, and you want to make sure to stay away from your chipboard. Let me show you. See, don't cut right against it, so give it a little room and just do the corner like so. So now I'm gonna use my tape and just place it on each one of the sides. Just like that. I'll do the top. So now we can remove the tape and just start adding the sides. I like to do the long sides first. So we're gonna do this. And because we already bent it, the cardstock ahead of time, we know exactly where it's gonna go. So same thing here, just like that. And then make sure that you press it down really good. Okay, and now we're gonna do the sides. Now before we do, we take out the tape on the side. Make sure you fold it and then you push down the corners here so they're not pointing and sticking out. Okay, so once we did that, we can remove this tape and place this down. Okay, so now we have both sides down, and then we're gonna bend these. And before you bend it, make sure you press down a little bit here on the cardstock just to help it bend without any bubbles. And we are done with the base. So now we're gonna work on the hinges. For that, I'm also going to be using the 65-pound cardstock. I'm gonna use a piece that measures 8.5 by 11. I'm going to start by scoring at 1.5. And then I'm going to do 3/4 of an inch all the way until I think it will be 10 inches or 9.5. So we're just gonna go 3/4, 3/4. So basically it will be 2.25, 3 inches, 3 3/4, 4.5, 5.25, 6 inches, 6 3/4, 7.5, 8.25, 9 inches, and then there's one more, 9 3/4. Okay, so then you go all the way until 9 3/4, and I don't know if you can see the lines a little bit maybe. Okay, so now let me put this on the side, and I'm going to basically pinch together the first 2 3/4 inches that you see. We're just going to pinch these two and make this little heel, as you can see, little heel. And now make sure to press it down really good. And then I'm going to skip the next one, and we're gonna grab the other two and we're going to pinch this, and then we're going to press this down. So now we have 2 little heels, and each one of these heels will become your hinge. So now we're going to do 2 more. Skip the next one and grab the other 2, and skip the next one and we grab the last 2. Okay, whoops. There we go. So we're just gonna pinch, and then I'm just gonna fold them all and give it one more press. And this is why I like having this larger one. You can just press them all at the same time. And here we go. So then we have the little hinges, and we're gonna open it up and join them together. Now to join them together, I'm just going to add double-sided tape on one of the sides. So you will do double-sided tape on the first 3/4 inch, then you're gonna skip 2, and again you do another one, and then you'll skip 2 and do another one, and then we'll skip 2 again and do this last one here. Okay, so that's how we're going to do the tape on the back. And then simply just peel off your tape and join your little heels again. Make sure you press that down, and we'll do the same to the next one here. Oops, let's see. Okay, press this down. Next one, and then we're gonna press it down, and the last one finally, and we're gonna press this down and bring that back out. Press it, and now we're gonna just stand up your hinges perpendicular to the bottom, and here we go. We are ready to add this to the book. So I have my base and I have my hinges, and you want to make sure these are perpendicular, standing up, so you can see exactly where the center is, and you want to center it with your bending lines, your score lines. Okay, so I'm just gonna use glue for this step. You can also use tape if you like. I find it a lot easier to do it with glue, and also this glue is really strong, so it really works for me. I'm just going to open this again because I think it's close. Okay, and I'm going to do my glue. So don't be shy on your glue, but also don't make like a big puddle of glue. Okay, so if you get the art glitter glue, make sure you get the metal tip as well, because it really helps you kind of regulate how much glue you put down so your page don't wrinkle, anything like that. You will find all of that at the store also on the link below. Okay, so now I'm going to center again my 4 hinges to this spine, and make sure it's also centered up and down. And there we go. Now that I have it where I want it, you make sure you press down on each one of these gussets, just like that. Okay, now don't bend your album yet. Make sure that is dry. And then we're gonna grab our ruler and your little score tool, and you're gonna match up these 2 pieces with your little bending points here and down here, and give it a score, just a soft score over there. So same thing on this side, we're just gonna mark the bending line, and now we're just gonna help your sides bend like this. Okay, so now we have the hinges and the base added, and then we're gonna add the tape to the back side as well. And we're gonna do the same for all of the hinges. So now I'm going to use 2 pieces of heavyweight cardstock, and I'm going to cut them at 8 3/4 by 6 3/4. And we're gonna add these 2 pieces on the inside covers of your album. Now these pieces will secure your hinge in place. So that's why I like extending my hinge to the side, and then I think it makes the album really secure when we do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna add one here and one on the other side. And now we have the base and the hinges done. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and start making the base pages. I'm going to use cardstock. This is heavyweight. I'm going to cut it at 6 1/4 by 9 3/4. So then we're also going to need 4 pieces of 6 1/4 by 8 3/4. So now I'm gonna grab the larger size, the one that measures 6 1/4 by 9 3/4, and we are going to score 1/2 inch. And then we're gonna turn this over and do 1/2 inch again. Okay, so now we're gonna do the same for the 4 large ones. So now we're gonna fold along the score lines, and we're gonna press this down. So I'm gonna do both sides, just like that. And then you're gonna grab your double-sided tape, and again, this is the 3/8 of an inch, and we are just gonna place this on this little flap, and then I'm just gonna cut that right there, and I'm gonna do the tape on this other side, just like that. Okay, and then again, you want to press this down really good. Okay, make sure there's no air bubbles. So then what we're gonna do is just peel off a little bit of the tape and place it on the side like that. And then we're gonna grab this smaller one, and we're going to make sure that it lines up. We're gonna use this side where we still have the tape, so we can slide it and make sure it's even on all these corners. And once we have it where we want it, we're gonna press down on that sticky side, and then we're just gonna pull out that tape. Now we're gonna do the same on the other side. Peel off the tape just a little bit first, and make sure you hold down the center so your page doesn't bubble up like this. Okay, so we're gonna hold down the center, stick that right there, and then take off the rest of the tape. And now we have the first base page. We're gonna do the same to all of this one. So now we have our 4 base pages, and from here we're going to start working on the design page by page. So now we're gonna start with page 1. I'm going to be using heavyweight cardstock from now on, so I won't be repeating that, but we're going to start with the first piece. I'm going to cut these at 7 1/4. And now I'm going to turn this over and just simply cut these at 4 1/2. So now I have 2 pieces. This one measures 4 1/2 and this one measures 4. So I'm going to create a double pocket for this page. So I'm going to score 1/2 inch along the 4 1/2 inch side, and then we're gonna turn this over and do 1/2 inch here. Let me move down here a bit. 1/2 inch, and then you can turn this over again and do 1/2 inch to create a pocket. Now we're going to cut the corners, so just like this. So now we have the first part of the pocket, and this second piece we're just going to score 1/2 inch and then turn it over and do 1/2 inch again. Okay, so now we're just gonna fold along the line. So I'm gonna start with this one. Just make sure you press down really good. Same thing here. and then we're gonna fold the 3 sides on this one. So the pocket that has the bottom piece here, this is going to be the pocket on the bottom, and this other one is basically what we call a belly band, but when we combine these 2 elements, we're going to create a double pocket. So I'm going to add some double-sided tape on the flaps. Okay, so I have the tape on all of the flaps, and then I'm going to select a page from my design paper. I'm using the Prima Lavender Frost, which is very pretty. I really, really love it. Okay, so let me just pick one of the pages. Oh, it's just so pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna do this one. And let me put these here for a second. Okay, so we're going to cut these at 6 inches, so right down the center. And I'm going to cut 2 pieces at 3 3/4. 1 and 2. And then I'm just gonna use the remaining here. I'm just gonna take off the top part, and this measures 4 1/2. Okay, so we're gonna start with the pockets. I'm just gonna place these, I'm gonna glue this down here, just like that, and then I'm gonna do the same on this one. I'm just gonna place this other one down here. Okay, so here we go. And now I'm gonna start with this piece. So this is basically, like I said, a belly band. If you were just to use this, that's exactly what you have here, a belly band. So I'm going to remove the tape, and I'm just gonna take out a little bit of the tape, place this kind of on the center, and then we're just gonna hold it down and remove the tape. And then we'll do the same on this side. We're just going to place this down and take off the tape. Okay, so now for the pocket, basically we're just gonna put it on top of this first belly band. So for this, I'm gonna start with the side. Make sure it is where you want it. And then we're just gonna press down and take the tape off. Now we can open it like this, and we can take off the tape here and here as well. And now we're just gonna close this down. Okay, and finally we're gonna grab the other piece, and we are gonna place it inside, just like that. And I'm gonna bend this down a little bit, or bend it out, and just add my tape, my glue. I don't like to add the glue before I place it in, because then it's, you know, the glue gets everywhere when you're trying to put it into the pocket. So I like doing it this way. And here we go, we have the first page, which is a double pocket. So now we're gonna work on page number 2. For this one, I'm going to cut a piece of 4 inches by 9 3/4. And we are creating a side long pocket. So I'm going to score this as well. So we're going to score 1/2 inch along the 4-inch side, and then we're going to flip that over and do 1/2 inch, and then 1/2 inch here as well. And of course you can do half and then count half from the other side, which is 9 1/4. Either way you can do it. So I'm gonna do the same with this, with the other pocket. I'm gonna trim the corners like this and fold along the lines. And then I'm gonna add my double-sided tape. Okay, so now I have the tape on all 3 sides, and I'm going to start by taking out the longer side. I'm gonna place this on the left, and we're gonna press down and take off the tape. And then we're gonna open this up and remove the tapes on the sides, 1 and 2. There we go. And then we can place this down. Make sure you press this down really good. All right, so now we're gonna cover that with the paper. So first I'm gonna start with the back of that leftover piece we had, and I'm gonna cut this at 8.5 by 6 inches. And this piece is going to fit perfect inside the pocket like that. Okay, so let's make sure put it in all the way. Okay, so just like this. Okay, now I'm going to add my glue. And see why I don't add my glue ahead of time, because sometimes we struggle putting this inside the pocket. And yeah, and this won't move out of place by just gluing the one side, so it works out fine. All right, so now I'm gonna pick a different design for this side. So I'm gonna cut this at 8.5 by 3.25. So now we have this long piece, and we are just gonna glue that in there. And now we have our page to finish. So now let's move on to page number 3. So for page number 3, I'm going to start with another piece of cardstock, and I'm going to cut this at 7 by 7.25. And for this page, what I want to do is create a double pocket combo. So we will have the the same pocket that we had first, and then the side pocket as well. So I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to score 1/2 inch along the 7.25 inch side. So I'm going to do 1/2 inch, and then we're gonna turn this over and do 1/2 inch on both sides. And then I'm gonna flip this to the 7-inch side and do 1/2 inch on one side. Okay, and then we're gonna cut the corners like we did before, and we're gonna fold along these lines and add our double-sided tape. Okay, so we have the first pocket, and the second piece we are going to grab, I'm just gonna use one of these random scraps, and I need a piece of 7.5 by 4, and this is 4. Okay, so now I'm going to score along the 4-inch side at 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to turn this over to the 7.5, and we're gonna do 1/2 inch on both sides. And then we're gonna do the same thing, making the pockets and adding the double-sided tape. Okay, so now we're gonna put this together. I'm going to start with the larger pocket. I'm just gonna peel off the tape on the bottom, and I'm gonna place it along the bottom here, and make sure the corners match. And then we're gonna take off that tape, and then you wanna open that, take off the tape on the sides, just like that, and then we're gonna close this like so. Okay, so now we're gonna grab the smaller pocket, and we're gonna place these. You can place it either on the left or the right. I think mine I'm going to do on the right, and I'm just gonna do the tape again on the longer side. Take it out like that, and then we're gonna place this one on top of that other pocket. Okay, so now we're gonna open that, remove the tapes here as well, and close this down. Here we go. And now we're just going to decorate. So first I'm going to use the scrap pieces that I have. So I'm gonna start with this smaller piece here, and this is just 6 inches sideways. And then for the length, just make sure it will fit inside the pocket here. And I'm thinking I should have waited to put my glue, because now this is just so difficult to do. Okay, but here we go. Okay, so now we're just gonna put that down there, and then I'm gonna use these other pieces to fill that. And so this measures 6.5, so I'm going to cut these at 6 1/4 by 3 1/4. Okay, so that will fit on my side pocket. Just like this. And then the other side will also be 6 1/4. And I'm just gonna do by 3 1/2. Okay, so then we're just gonna place this inside the pocket, just like that. And then I'm going to add my glue in here, like so. And then just make sure that is center. And there we go. So now this is a combo page, pocket page. We have the pocket on the top and the pocket on the sides. And I love matching my pages when they look like that. To me, it looks so neat. So I think I'm at a good stopping point for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial so far. I will have the link to the store and all the supplies that we are going to be using. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe to see the next part of the tutorial. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.